Warning, we are about to spoil the entirety of Gone Girl. If you haven't seen the movie and want to see it, leave, then come back and watch our show. If you have seen the movie or you just don't care, stick around and we will talk our stupid faces off. I want to splatter your brains and see what you're thinking. I want to shoot you till your body continues to twitch. You fucking piece of shit!
You do realize that was supposed to be metaphorical, right?
Fuck you!
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Cinema Roulette. I kind of was going to go into something with this, but I didn't really have anything, so fuck it. Let's go.
I'm here too.
He is, as usual. I would hope so.
Sometimes I'm not. Thanks, brain.
Are you still hung up on the Suspiria episodes, Justin?
It's funny because it just came out when we recorded in
Yup.
when did we record? That was January, I want to say.
Something like that, yeah. It's been almost 4 months.
No, I think it was longer. I think we recorded in August.
No, it was last year. You know what? You're right. Come to think of it. So
shit.
we're slowly but surely getting caught up here.
Yeah, well, we're hopefully getting back to at least a somewhat consistent schedule.
Yeah.
At this point.
Which, who knows? We might be on it at this point. We may not. Knowing me, probably not, but we'll find out.
Just trying for 2 a month.
So, yeah. So today we are, of course, for lack of a better segue, we are talking about Gone Girl.
And then we just throw away the episode that said disappeared.
You know, it's shit like this.
It's shit like this that would be a clever April Fool's Day episode.
God
so just finish.
Damn it, you're so right!
So just finish all the episodes in the, hold on, what's today?
Today's Monday the 25th.
So there's 6 days till April 1st. Just finish all the episodes we have up till this point, upload all of them, and then upload this one.
And just cut it off right there.
So, hello, welcome to July. I'm going to assume this episode is on in July. I don't know. I'm going by assumptions here. We'll see how close I get.
Assumption junction, what's your junction?
I'm not sure how much it dates an episode for me to say the actual date. Anyway, let's talk about David Fincher's Gone Girl.
Yeah.
Should I just...
What?
Oh.
Yeah, go on.
Should I just quickly summarize the plot?
Yeah, sure. I just wanted to say... Oh, it fucking did again. Okay, hold on. Technical difficulties.
Bum, bum, bum. Fuck! Bum, 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 bum. Tech.
Gone Girl.
Well, it felt like you were about to say something, so before I summarized it.
I know, I was. I think I was literally just gonna... I was gonna say that, this is a movie I went into almost completely blind. It's one that Justin's seen and I hadn't seen, but...
It's been a while since we did one of these. I think the last one was Grand Budapest.
Was it that fucking long ago? Dang.
Yeah, it was episode 4.
Damn. But yeah, this one, some of the movies I know at least a little bit about, I've seen scenes from them, or know some of the actors that were in it. This one I went into almost completely blind, which is great.
Except a girl was gone. It was by David Fincher.
It was by David Fincher and it had Ben Affleck in it. That's all I knew.
I'm sorry, you said Ben Affleck, and I thought of Affleck, and then I imagined Ben Affleck with the fucking duck from the Affleck commercials.
I'm surprised they haven't made that joke yet.
I'm sure someone has. Yeah. And if not, I'm disappointed.
Right? So, yeah, go ahead.
Oh, shit. Hold on, what's the wife's name? Amy. Her name's Amy.
Amy.
Okay. So, there is a man named Nick, played by Ben Affleck, and a girl named Amy. who was played by person.
Person?
A person. I mean, she is a person. I'm pretty sure.
On a technical level, yes, but the actual actress's name was Rosamund Pike.
Yeah, that one.
It's not
Rosamund.
It's not Rosamund. It's spelled Rosamund, like Rosamund Pike. It's weird.
So Nick and Amy were a happy married couple for 5 years. And then their marriage got kind of rocky. All of a sudden, Nick goes out one day. When he comes home, his wife is missing. She is a gone girl. Very clever title, I have to say. So the entire town starts looking for Amy because it turns out Amy is kind of a celebrity because her parents wrote a book series called Amazing Amy. And it didn't pan out. Well, it was kind of like her dream childhood that she didn't get, but her mom wrote for her anyway. So since Amy is this like American icon to children's books, everyone starts looking for her, and as they look more and more, we find out that Nick is kind of an asshole and may have killed his wife. Until the sudden twist that Amy faked her own death because she hated her husband for a lot of things. Generally for just being kind of a lazy piece of shit and changing from the person she married.
And if you guys think, wow, that was fast before you actually said the twist, it's fast in the movie, too. It's revealed, like, at the halfway point that this is what
exactly at the halfway point.
Yeah.
And also, this is a quick summary, so lucky. So, Amy is hoping that Nick will get the electric chair since she set up basically the perfect crime. She gets mugged. She gets all the cash she took out stolen, and then runs back to someone who used to stalk her, played by Neil Patrick Harris. And then Neil Patrick Harris tries to basically hold her in nice guy prison.
Yeah, it's really creepy.
It is. And then Nick goes on TV to get some good publicity so he doesn't get the gas chamber. And Amy sees it and is like, oh, that's the Nick I loved. And then decides to kill Neil Patrick Harris. Says Neil Patrick Harris raped her when she gets back home, and now they will, and also got pregnant, and will now be forced to marry with Nick until the baby's at least 18. That's how the movie ends.
Yeah, there really is no proper resolution to the conflict there. It kind of just ends very ambiguously, like really hinting that one of them will probably kill the other one just to get out of the relationship, or just because they're psycho bonkers crazy.
I forgot to tell you the quote I wanted to say from Honest Trailers.
Oh, okay.
A man will try to prove his innocence by acting as guilty as physically possible.
You told me that one. Oh, that's funny.
Oh, did I? Okay,
Yeah.
I didn't remember if I did.
Yeah, that's by acting as guilty as possible. It's true. Didn't you say? I guess. Didn't you say that? I'm trying debating whether or not to bring it up this early in the review. But didn't you say there was like a big plot hole somewhere that you'll think of after the movie?
I don't remember it. Actually, after seeing through it, I don't remember it.
Yeah.
So, I think there is one, and I just don't know it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember it.
But yeah, oh well. But yeah, this movie...
Which goes to show that plot holes don't mean a movie is totally terrible if you can ignore it.
Yeah, or just flat
Fucking Simpsons.
Or just flat out don't remember it in this case, honestly.
There's something, I forget what it is.
But, yeah, this movie was a really solid thriller and really uniquely done. Like, I like, obviously it's David Fincher, so the cinematography is going to be freaking gorgeous. But yeah, like, the structure of the movie, how it alternated, like, between flashback and present was really clever and really well done. So, and the characters were very memorable, too. Like, Ben Affleck, his sister, the wife. I know when this movie came out, like, Rosamund Pike in particular, she got a lot of praise for her performance.
I mean, she does a really good job of playing an absolute psychotic bitch.
Yeah, honestly. Yeah, there were some sick fucking burns in this like movie too. It gets harsh at times.
Yeah, we should probably focus up so it doesn't sound like we're already wrapping up the review.
I know, but I was trying to think of where to even start with this movie.
Well, let's start with Nick, like the movie does.
Nick. Yeah, Ben Affleck. He does a really good job. I'm trying to think of like, oh, he plays this type of character, but he's kind of like, he is a piece of shit, but at the same time, you do kind of empathize with him a little bit. Like at the beginning,
So a human being.
yeah, like at the beginning especially, like you emphasize with him, like everyone's being unfair, but then it is revealed that he did some pretty shitty things, like obviously like talking about his wife behind her back. Not only that, but also like cheating on his wife with another woman. And it turned like at one point, like he like grew bored with her and only used her for sex. And then like she wanted to have a baby, and like she was arguing with him out on the way out the door, and he kind of like got physical with her and like threw her against the staircase.
Now here's the thing I don't know on the getting physical part.
Yeah, I think I know what you're getting at, but go on.
Later in the film, when she's talking about how she set up the whole crime, how the wife set up the entire crime, she says she makes up the last part.
Yeah.
So it's technically up in the air if Nick actually got physical with her.
Yeah, exactly. That did cross my mind later on. I'm like, I wonder if that scene was actually happened, or if it was part of her big fabrication that she did. So
yeah, because when we see that scene, we're still reading from her diary, technically.
Yeah, but it's revealed that a lot of the diary was bullshit. So
and then she writes a diary of after she commits the crime, I guess.
I guess so.
Because she still talks in a narration style that is the diary.
Yeah, but I more took that as like, because she has like everything planned out on the calendar. I took that as more she was talking in her head or to herself when she was talking about. Yeah. Because the last entry I think was about like she bought a gun because it's like, I think my husband's going to kill me.
No, well, it wasn't buying the gun, but it was, I think he's going to bash my brains in. Then suddenly it looks like she died from blunt force trauma.
Yep.
Bump, 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 bump. What? But that is something I like about Nick, is at first he seems somewhat sympathetic.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I mean, he seems a little too relaxed about everything, but still sympathetic. And then it just gets worse.
Mm-hmm.
And he becomes more and more of this piece of shit.
Yeah. Which, again, is brilliant, too, because by the end you're questioning how much of that was actually true. Like, or if that was part of her fabrication and stuff. Like, it really plays with that. It's great.
I mean, the biggest issue I have is he was somehow playing Battlefield 3 on a PS2 controller. So.
It was! Like, it had a cord, and you're like, wait, that is a PS2 controller, isn't it? Was it Battlefield or was it Call of Duty? I thought it was Call of Duty.
No, it was Battlefield. The way it was, it had the big building being destroyed in really pale colors.
Oh, gotcha.
Battlefield 3 really liked its pale colors in blue.
That generation in general liked their pale colors. But that's another discussion for another day.
No, well, not for this podcast. We're about movies and shows, not fucking video games.
I know.
Which, if I remember correctly, a reason there was we didn't want to get political, yet movies are now kind of hard not to at times.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if we ever have to watch a Woody Allen movie, which, no, but that's besides the point. Back to Gone Girl.
Yeah, but like movies like Sorry to
Back to fictional crimes.
But like, yeah, movies like Sorry to Bother You and Black K.K. Klansman, if we ever get to those are going to be a little
those
hard.
will be fun.
Those
are
will be
fun to talk about.
Yeah, but you kind of, it's kind of hard to avoid the politics in it. But yeah, Gone Girl. So we're wrapping up Ben Affleck. Should we talk about fucking the wife now?
The wife.
God damn, was she really terrifying in this? Like, it started out like okay, like you had a little bit of sympathy for her, but then like as it turned out to like she planned the whole thing, and like at the halfway point when everything was revealed, you're just like holy shit. Because the thing I kept saying is what she was doing was brilliant, but also terrifying with like what she did, because like she set up all this crime like to get kind of this Count of Monte Cristo type revenge, like a slow like revenge that'll eventually come up to bite him. But yeah, she stages her disappearance, but like the extremes that she goes to, or that she's willing to go to like fabricate the story, is just scary, because like she actually like, on top of like she drains like blood from her arm early on to make it look like there was a lot of blood on the ground. And so like she puts that and she's like drains it, and it's like just that in general kind of bugged me, because you know how I am with needles.
Oh man, I'm gonna make you squirm at some point.
But yeah, she drains all her blood and throws it all over the floor and cleans it up, and then she like has,
well, not all of it, it's like 2 liters or something.
Which, how much is in the human body? 6?
I think 6 or 8.
Yeah, which that's a lot of blood to lose. She probably would have been lightheaded and shit by the end of that. But yeah, she like takes a hammer and like bashes her eye in to make it look like she was abused or something. And like,
well, no, she did that after her disappearance, which I think because she wanted to kill herself.
Yeah. Cause that was the other thing I was gonna say. Like, she actually was going to kill herself. She said like take pills and then like drown herself with the like, you know, the injury to her eye to make it, and then they'll find the body, and then he'll get the death penalty, because like they keep saying it's really hard to have a case without the body. What?
On the calendar, the kill yourself was like 2 months away when she's peeling off the Post-it notes.
Was it?
Yeah, it was like at least 2 flips away, so that's 2 months.
Mm-hmm.
Yet she hit herself on the first month. The black eye wouldn't have stayed, but whatever.
Yeah, well, no, it would have stayed. Like, I think it would have had time to heal, because bodies don't bruise after death. So, if it was healed, wouldn't it have been healed by the time she drowned herself?
Yeah, it would have. So, she would have had to hit herself with a hammer again if she wanted that.
Yeah, so... But yeah, then like later in the movie when she's setting up Neil Patrick Harris, like, because she finds out where all the cameras are and she like does all this shit, but like she starts like masturbating with a fucking wine glass, and then like actually like
to make it look like forceful entry.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
really fucked up. And then fucking she has sex with Neil Patrick Harris, and then just straight up fucking slits his throat in this gruesome but really coolly done murder scene. Like, goddamn. Then you see his
dick.
Yeah, there is a lot of weird dick shots, because you see Neil Patrick Harris's dick, and then later on at the end of the movie you see Ben Affleck's dick.
Oh, did you? I thought you
when he went in the shower naked with his wife. Yeah, I think I even commented, I was like, I did not need to see Ben Affleck's dick.
Yeah, she is just she's terrifying, and we find out hold on. Sorry, tickle in my throat.
You're good.
Realizing, never mind. But later on, when Ben Affleck is trying to get proof because he figures out his wife is setting him up, he talks to someone who apparently sexually assaulted Amazing Amy when she was in like high school. And turns out she completely faked that too by drugging the guy and using ties that she bought him to make it look like she was chained to the bed.
Yeah, it's really fucked up.
We don't see it, and thank God we don't. But like, just hearing it is so fucked.
Hearing it is fucked, and you do genuinely feel bad for the dude, because he's like, you know, like, yeah, my life was basically ruined because of that, because he has a sexual assault charge, and that shit pops up whenever someone does a basic background check, or if you Google the person. He's like, I can't get a date, I can't get a fucking job. It's just like, yeah, she really fucked that guy's life up. But yeah, at the same time, while it is terrifying, you also have to admire it for how sickly brilliant it is, honestly.
Yeah.
Like, she thinks of everything, and I know, like, it's a silly excuse, like, oh, she's a writer, so she can think, like, of things really well, but at the same time, it is it's well done enough.
I mean, being 100% honest, it's not that hard to get away with a murder.
No, it's not. Exactly.
Like, you could watch as many cop shows as you want, but if you look up how many murders go unsolved, it's kind of terrifying.
It really is, and, like, that's another thing that's kind of, like, always, like, fascinating was unsolved mysteries and stuff like that. Like a person disappears, they never find the body, they have like it on surveillance cam, and then it's like, oh well, but the guy was never found or something. So it's just terrifying, but fascinating.
I've seen weird supernatural ones too. Like, not ones where it's like, oh, we saw a ghost on camera. No, it was like, you see a girl running into a hotel elevator in a panic, and she looks out, and she leaves the elevator, and there's like a window near wherever the elevators were.
Fuck, stop.
All of a sudden, you see a black shadow fall past.
Ah!
No, that was her falling off the building. No one knows how she made it there so quickly.
Stop! It gets under my skin, man.
Right? But it's so cool.
Yeah!
Also, one of my favorite fucking things is when she's explaining how every step she took and how just, like, almost sarcastic it sounds.
Yeah!
Like, get a neighborhood idiot. Listen to all her boring life story. It's like just this cynical, bitchy tone. It's great.
She did a fantastic job with the role, yeah, and she was by far one of the most memorable things about this movie. But yeah, and even the side characters were really well done. Like, you could tell who is who and all that. Like, it's another case where, like, sometimes you have trouble remembering the names, but at the same time, it's like the characters are well defined enough that you see that, oh, it's that person, oh, it's that person, oh, it's that person.
Yeah, like Nick's sister, I enjoyed her. She was just kind of a cool person.
Yeah, and was not afraid to give Nick shit when he fucking deserved it.
Because he did.
He did. He totally did.
Also, this movie turns into a weird metaphor of Batman v Superman.
Yeah, we jokingly said that because it's like, there's a moment where he gets into a car. It's like, we want you dead. You killed her. It's like, this was Ben Affleck after Batman vs Superman came out.
Well, no, it was like, first people hated him, then the movie came out and people liked him, then people thought about Batman v Superman, wanted to kill him again.
Exactly. Yeah, another big theme of this movie, which I loved because it's so true, is like how much people are easily swayed by like the media and like popular opinions and all that, and just how, like, I'm trying to think here.
I will give an advisory right now. We are going to try not to get too far into this topic.
Try not to get too far into it, but it's so true how easy like public opinion is swayed by like a little thing, and like how kind of this mob mentality of certain groups works, where it's like, you know, like everyone's like, yeah, we're for you, and then all of a sudden it's like, hey, she was pregnant, what the fuck, you goddamn piece of shit, and everyone like mobs after her, and it's really interesting to kind of see this.
But then he apologizes for doing, but then it turns out he might have actually killed her. And
it goes back and forth and back and forth, and it's really well done, but it's a brilliant deconstruction and then just critique of how gullible people are when it comes to like news and the media, because the media is pretty quick to crucify him, like at first, like when he's still sympathetic, they're like, at the same time it's like, oh, that's the face of a killer. It's like, he's there flirting with other girls, he did it.
Or even how much it kind of takes away people's thinking, in a sense. Like near the end of the movie when Amy comes back, the only person who questions it is the cop who's been on the case the entire time.
Yeah, like, she's the only...
But everyone else just kind of says, shut up, it's a happy ending.
Exactly, yeah, she's the only one who looks at her and realizes, this story is full of holes, this bitch is full of shit. And everyone's just like, the way she sways them into like sympathizing with her is brilliant. She's just like, now can I please get back to when I was raped and assaulted or something like that? And I'm just like, wow, you're fucking good.
Fucking damn.
Yeah, it's really freaking insane. And like, while there's no direct rape in the film, it does play a theme in a lot of like plot points. So
even though none of it technically happened.
Yeah, it's crazy. But yeah, that was the thing I really liked about it. And sorry,
which my brain is now thinking that some people could take that as a bad message in the film. of like victim blaming and stuff, which again, topic I'm not going to get into, but I could see how someone may mistake the film for that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, or like how technically the ending is super ambiguous, like she technically gets away with it.
Yeah, I really like that ending shot, and my since I'm still in fucking film school, there's part of me that's like, how is this supposed to be symbolic?
Exactly. Because the twist is the opening narration at the beginning of the movie, and that whole scene actually is the end of the movie after everything has happened.
Yeah, and they're on like it's 5 weeks after 5 or 7 weeks after she got home,
Mm-hmm.
and they're going to talk about how she's pregnant and they're going to have a child and they're really happy now. But the part I find odd or that could have symbolism.
Uh-huh.
I don't know how to treat talking about this stuff because it's like it sounds pretentious, but sometimes it has a point.
Exactly. That's kind of the double-edged sword of going to film school and learning film speak is like it does have a point, but you need to sound like as least pretentious as you possibly can about it.
Because to the lower general public, it sounds too like I'm overthinking it.
Oh my god. Yeah,
I don't actually think this of people. Please don't judge me.
No, that was sarcasm, ladies and gentlemen.
It was sarcasm, ladies and gentlemen. But everyone is dressed for a funeral. Like, that's what everyone's in all black. There's white roses instead of red, which usually symbolizes love.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just kind of, a part of me is like thinking, this is either saying one of them is going to kill the other, or this any love that was between these two is completely dead.
Yeah, exactly. It could be taken either way. Either way, it's kind of brilliant because I didn't even notice that, like with the flowers and the way everyone was dressed. So
I didn't notice it till the second viewing. So
yeah, that's really cool. But yeah, is there anything else like specifically you want to talk about the movie, or?
The soundtrack.
Oh yeah, very eerie and very well done. Like it has a lot. It isn't like traditional music. It's a lot of like ambient noise and kind of these disturbing like whirring noises and stuff like that. It's really hard to describe.
Yeah, there are some moments where like the glitches in the music are part of the soundtrack.
Mm-hmm.
It just makes like even you said in the opening, it was really unsettling, even though technically nothing was going on yet.
Yeah, exactly. Like just the way the music was playing and like the cinematography, it kind of just added to this atmosphere where it's like nothing has happened, but something feels off. It feels like something's wrong still.
Yeah, whoever did the soundtrack is absolutely fucking amazing.
Yeah.
And really helped set the tone a lot of the time.
Like when she was going, like when the police detective was going into the basement, she's like, I want a body or something. And she goes into the furnace and finds the book. Like the soundtrack just goes full on almost horror movie.
Yeah.
It's really disconcerting and really well done. But yeah, I was say that brings me to kind of my final point here. This is kind of only a movie you can watch once. Because it's it's a very, very tense thriller, and it plays on like the unknown. Because this was a movie like first time viewing it, which I love it when this happens, where I genuinely had no idea where it was going to go. Like I didn't know how everything was going to be wrapped up, or like if he was going to go jail or die or not. And all that stuff, but like I genuinely had no idea where it was going. And once all that is spoiled for you, the tension's kind of gone.
Yeah, seeing through this a second time, it reminds me a lot of Memento, where if you know the twist, you're not like it's still a great movie. The cinematography's good, sound design, acting, and whatnot. It's all great, but knowing what's going to happen, it's just kind of like, oh, okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and like especially towards the end for myself, like not knowing what was going to happen, I got really jittery. I'm like, this is so tense. What the fuck is going to happen? Where is this going? Is she going to get her comeuppance? Is he going to kill her? Is like what's going to happen? And it just kind of is never revealed, which is crazy.
But well, also it's part of a trilogy of books, if I remember correctly.
Was it?
Yeah.
Interesting.
So there's another book trilogy David Fincher will never finish. But yeah, it's worth at least one watch. But well, it wouldn't be now because we just spoiled everything. But then again, we warned you at the beginning to watch the movie, so
yeah, exactly.
not our problem. But it's not like other David Fincher films where there's little things to spot or just you can kind of still feel the roller coaster of emotions.
Yeah, like
it's just
Fight
one
Club,
and done.
Fight Club, I would say, is probably his most rewatchable movie.
Seven is also up there.
Also Seven. Yeah, Seven and Girl with Dragon Tattoo are all very rewatchable.
Well, Girl with Dragon Tattoo, it depends on how you can deal with one of the scenes.
Yeah.
One more thing to talk about as well. Something I love with the cinematography is the lighting, because it looks loving and like horror at the same time. Sort of if you filled a room with candles, how you'd have that heavy amount of shadow but calm lighting.
Yeah, it's
or this warm light. It's always throughout the film, and it kind of has you weigh back and forth on the love or the terrifying aspects of it.
Yeah, because it's a mix of like harsh shadows and like a yellowish hue. It's like a very yellow, like I said, like it looks like candles being lit or something, which it looks really pretty, but yeah, can be very unnerving at times.
Yeah, it can be romantic and unnerving.
Mm-hmm.
Plus, David Fincher's somehow magical ability to make every set look sterile, even an abandoned mall filled with homeless people.
Yeah, he does that in this. He does that in Zodiac with a lot of locations. It's crazy.
He did Mindhunter on Netflix. That's a very definite place you can see it. Fight Club had it in a few scenes.
Yeah, but that was early on when he was still kind of developing his style.
Yeah, usually in the more corporate quote-unquote corporate areas.
Mm-hmm.
Which makes sense.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just a really well done film, but it's not really a rewatchable one.
Yeah, still well
for us at least. If you like it, then it's fucking your opinion.
Still well worth your time though. And a very, very tense thriller. I know a lot of people put it under psychological thriller. So,
do they?
Yeah, it's how it's listed on a lot of like movie websites. But yeah, I think that's about it, huh?
Yeah, I think that's, unless you got anything else to say.
Not off the top of my head, no. Still just go watch it. Good David Fincher movie. If you're a David Fincher fan and haven't seen it, go watch it.
Yeah, Cameron. But with that said, that means it is time to spin the wheel.
Woo!
Okay, so we have a fucking 5 in 4 chance of doing a movie we have already seen. Both of us have seen.
Let's do it.
5 and 4.
Let's do it.
I would like to say we spun this
several times
after the last film review. We spun it a couple times, and we hit everything but one film. Until we finally hit films that we have both seen.
Okay, so let's see. Will we actually get a film we've both seen at this point in time? Because this happened at the end of Vantage Point, and I lost my shit.
Okay, let's spin the wheel. I hate the world.
Oh my god, are you serious? What did it land on?
What do you think it landed on?
Was it American Psycho?
Yeah.
Yes! Oh my fucking god! Oh, this is fucking hilarious.
Okay, next fucking wheel. Because we do actually have the next wheel planned somewhat. I'm going to separate the options and not have them in the rows. Because this is getting fucking ridiculous.
That is hilarious. We literally had more than 50% chance and still didn't
Okay, well, next time is
my
another movie
God.
I've seen and Cameron hasn't. It's American Psycho,
I'm excited. I'm excited.
which is kind of a funny follow-up
Yeah,
after Gone
after
Girl.
Gone Girl, which takes place in America and follows a psycho for a lot of it.
Yeah, okay. I'm actually annoyed right now.
That is hilarious. I love it. I love it. Okay, guys, bye.
Bye.